Hey y'all, for the build rundown, the build's pretty simple. All we really want to do is just spam your heal, your mantra potence, your advance, and your feel my wrath skills off cooldown, and auto attack with hammer. Uh, I guess I will just explain kind of what's going on in the build. And again, it's hard for me to make these low intensity healer builds because like I know that they won't work everywhere, but I just try to focus on giving you as much passive healing as I can. So you don't need to press your buttons for the most part. But there will be fights, just disclaimer that there will be fights where you will need burst healing. So if you can, please run staff offhand if you decide to run this build. Um, Staff is really, really good. Staff 3, Staff 4, Staff 2, all really, really good skills. But unfortunately, Staff doesn't have as much passive healing as the Hammer does. So I would seriously recommend you to run Staff. Um, so just to explain, basically the way the build works, right, is you have your virtues line, which gives you virtue skill, improves your virtue skill to passive healing, and also grants it to nearby allies. So basically you and your allies end up healing passively a lot more. Honor is mostly focused on improving, giving like a little bit of might, and also the rate of persistence. This is kind of how the build heals for the most part, right? Is you will heal through your symbols on the ground through hammer. So this is kind of where a good majority of your healing is coming from. And then you also grant might whenever you use up all of your mantra skills. Because the trait weighty terms applies slow, which in turn applies stoic demeanor. Um, so this build runs a few interesting skills, right? Advance. Uh, Usually you give this through staff 3, but again, staff just doesn't have as much passive healing to keep up. So your only source of swiftness is advance. Your elite is a little bit of source of quickness, but the main thing your elite is useful for is fury. Because again, this build actually doesn't have any fury generation apart from your elite and your relic, right? The relic of altruism. You will grant fury and 8 stacks of might whenever you use a healing skill. So your elite and the relic of altruism is kind of how you keep up fury or permanent fury uptime, which is really important. Um, so yeah, I would consider running staff, and I would also consider you to run or look through your tome skills and use your tome skills. Because again, in these Firebrand builds, I don't use tomes, even though I maybe should. I don't know, but I kind of when I started making these, I view tomes as like weapon swap-ish, and these builds don't have weapon swap. So again, all of your tomes are free to use, but some useful ones. Tome 1, skill 3 is a pull. Tome 2 is your main healing tome. So, for example, if you're taking on a lot of damage and for whatever reason you don't want to run staff, skill 5, skill 4, all big healing skills, right? Skill 2 is a Conde cleanse. Tome 3, you can grant some stability, protection, Aegis, you have a reflect, and you also have pulsing resistance. Again, I would highly encourage you to either run staff offhand and or use your tome skills, but if you decide to do neither, I think hammer is your best option. Yeah, I think that's I guess yeah, I'll also talk about the useful utility skills. So basically, for the most part, you don't want to, you only have one utility skill that you can swap around. I guess I'll talk about hammer really quick. Hammer 2, a little bit of mobility. Hammer 3 technically will proc your stoic demeanor. So if for whatever reason, you want a little bit of resistance and might, you can use your hammer 3. Hammer 4 is a CC. I put Sanctuary by default on this build. Sanctuary is a really, really strong CC skill. So I guess I'll kind of show it now. So let's say I add a Defiance bar. Let's say I add an Ever's Defiance bar. And then remove this pulsing bullshit really quick. Oh, okay, there we go. But you're going to see that Sanctuary is a really strong CC skill. So for example, if I put down Sanctuary on the Golem, you're going to see the break bar go down, right? So it's a whole lot of break bar damage over a decent amount of time. And it's also improved by Master of Consecrations. So I would probably just run it. But if you want some other strong options, I think it's... Yeah, the Mantra of Lore is technically Condi removal, really, really strong Condi removal. Judge's Intervention, blink to an enemy, strong skill. Merciful Intervention, blink to an ally and res them, strong skill. Wall of Reflection, just a, well, it's self-explanatory, Wall of Reflection. Hallowed Ground and Standard Ground, strong stability skills. Sanctuary already kind of went over. You can run Bane Signet if you need a little bit more CC, but again, you should probably prefer to run Sanctuary. And then, if you need more healing and you're not willing to use any other options, Bow of Truth is solid as well, as it's just a big AoE heal. But again, yeah, with these healer builds, I'm thinking that, again, it's hard because, like, as a healer, you need to be somewhat dynamic to, like, what's happening in the fight, and, there's going to be parts where people take a lot of damage, and you're going to need to pump out healing really quick and kind of get, blood burst healing and get people healed up. So I'm trying to focus more on kind of strong passive healing with these builds if you're going to be playing a low intensity healer. But yeah, I hope you enjoy the build. Thank you.